Ow. Wait. Let me see. Charlie, what do you want? Come here. You've been. Be quiet. Come here. Charles. Charlie, come on. All right, fine. Stay under there then. Charlie. You want to be on YouTube? Come on. Come. Come here. Ain't nobody on, but. Hey, YouTube. Charlie wants to say hi. Hey, Charles. Hey, Charlie. Come on. Welcome to YouTube. Nope. No comment. All right. No comment. Come on. Well, we're going to wait to see if anybody comes on. Okay, Charles? Okay, Charlie? You know what? I'm going to need you to do your own YouTube channel pretty soon. Because I've been watching a lot of cat channels, especially a channel featuring a cat name. What was that cat name? But anyway, I've been watching different YouTube channels with cats. So you're going to have your own channel one day. Come on and say hi to YouTube. Who one person came in and then dropped off? Hey, YouTube. My name is Charlie. I'm about a year and a few months old. Something like that. So watch for me. Ow, Charlie, why you bit me? Get, move. Bit me on my arm. Move, get. You bite me with the hand that feeds you. How dare you? Okay, YouTube. I'm just gonna have y'all just have to catch the replay. So anyway, um, my Salesforce course with Trailhead Salesforce is officially over last week Friday. However, that's just the beginning. So I'm completing up the last few modules that I have, and that's just the start. So anyway, I will be studying for my Salesforce admin certification in the next coming months, and then I will be working on Wednesday with a career coach where they're going to assist me with career in Salesforce admin, resume, and it's going to be way much better than I could tell you when I did sales SV Academy for technical sales, since I did get a certificate, but the whole thing of after you finish the program and helping you look for a position in a job and helping you, that became a bust, as y'all know. But anyway, but I still completed it, SV Academy, and it was through Amazon Career Choice. And it so happens that they are no longer going to be with the Amazon Career Choice. And I think it's for the best, because in the beginning, when I first started asking questions about what about the recession and how a lot of companies were, especially in the technical field, and especially up there for big companies at that, were letting go staff members, cutting um, people in technical, in the IT, which is a very lucrative field, but a lot of companies are cutting back and laying off a lot of um, software developers and certain types of people in the IT field. Not all, but there's still a demand. But most of them were big companies, especially the ones who are public traded companies that they were losing money, like Meta, which is normally formerly Facebook, Google, Dell. But a lot of those companies that were laying people off in these high paying positions and technical were contractors. A lot of them were contractors, and a lot of companies took back job offers for a lot of people who graduated and rescinded the offer because a lot of companies, particularly big companies, but it's not just big companies, it's all companies are cutting back in regards to um, positions. But it's not that it's not like you still cannot enter a field in technical or IT. It's just that certain industries are cutting back. And I guess it makes sense in a way, especially when you're a public traded company and your stock has gone down, but they still need people in certain fields. In a lot of fields, there's still a demand. So I just completed the Salesforce boot camp Friday. So, but we're still working with trainers. We're still going to be working with the career coach. So Wednesday, I'll be assigned to my career coach, and then they're going to go over my goals, what it is that I want to do, and map out my plan, and then study for the certification and work my way to a brand new career. Now I know for the last 5, 6 years, I've been trying to go into the tech field for the longest. Last year I did do that nonprofit organization, Generation USA, to learn to be a software developer, to learn the code. And even though I didn't officially finish, I did learn a lot during that session. But um, they were kind of like, I didn't think it was all that great. It was way too many people. They were trying to teach, and it was too long. A whole day from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time was spent in the Zoom going over the courses on online, and then it just wasn't ran correctly for me. And then at the same time, it ran into my time to start going back to work at TurboTax around December, and I didn't finish the program with US Generation USA, which was only learning just the last part and doing a group project. So I don't know whatever happened to those people that I was working with, but I know that some of the teachers, instructors, or whatever, one of the teaching assistants, she did the boot camp, but she did hers through Georgia Tech with this other white guy. They both went through the Georgia Tech program. They did it online, and they were also both fitness instructors. And one managed to teach, which didn't really require a whole lot because, to be honest, the materials was already put together. So all you had to do was basically show screens and do Code Academy. So I managed to do the majority of the program. But then when I was doing it, I really realized there were certain things. Hey, y'all, one person, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and please come in the chat and say hello. I don't like talking with just one person lurking in the background and never speak. If you have access to say hello, it'll be much appreciated. It's not like I'm monetized, so I'm not gonna be staying on here long. So anyway, so last year when I was doing Generation USA, I managed to complete and learn HTML and CSS, and then I did learn a little bit of JavaScript. But since then, I have not really been practicing my coding, and it wasn't like it was any type of certification involved. And then at the same time, I felt that the career services they offered, it was vague. It wasn't really valuable to me. They didn't really have any companies that had partners to hire any students who completed the program. They may have had one with Verizon, but to be honest, if you do your research further, you could have found out that you could have contacted Verizon, and it was only like maybe a couple positions available for you to become an apprentice of some sort. But since then, I haven't kept in contact with any of the people that I met last year from Generation USA, whether or not that anybody found it, if any of the students themselves found a job in the software developing. Two, um, the skill sets that they was teaching was really it wasn't something like you could just get a job and being a website developer or whatever, unless you were trying to do projects on your own or contracting. But as you um, start to see if there were companies hiring for such thing, there really wasn't. You know, that's how fast technology goes. That's how fast technology runs. You know, because how many people are really needing software developers to manage their websites? I mean, big companies. Now, maybe smaller companies or small business, they may need someone to do that, but technology changes, systems changes. Um, Companies may go more on a automate. Hey, people may go more on a customer service management or CRM systems, like what I've learned at Salesforce, which is great. I really enjoyed it, and and the job projections is great. But I'll talk about. I'm gonna do a whole new video talking about Salesforce and how to go about it and about the program, because there's so many different um, training platforms that one could get into and learn. If you was interested in learning about Salesforce, which is a CRM system, and you could be an admin administrator. Now, if you work for a company, and a lot of companies, not a lot, but a lot of companies within the last 10 years or so have started using Salesforce as a CRM platform. And then as I was doing my research prior to joining Career Choice, learning Salesforce with Amazon Career Choice, I had came across that program or training program. It was a different company, and it was a 5 day free trial, and I was learning it. And then when I looked again on my Amazon Career Choice program after SV Academy basically was like telling me to choose a different career choice path because it wasn't suitable for me. How could something not be suitable if I had completed the program and got the certificate? Didn't make no sense. But what they really meant to say was that they wasn't trying to help me in terms of looking for a position or a career in technical sales. I was doing it on my own. I had submitted my resumes to, not a whole like 150 companies, but they helped me with my resume. But then when I was, updating my LinkedIn profile and I was applying for all these different technical sales positions, I was not getting any offers. And I didn't get any interviews, but it would have taken time. I didn't give up on technical sales, so don't get me wrong. I haven't given up on pursuing it, but that's just another learning objective that I added on. So when I work with the career coach on Wednesday with Correlation One and studying, and as I study for the certification exam in the next few months, because I'm not going to take it at the end of October or the beginning of November. They seem to want to push it to there because they figure, oh, if you learn real fast, you could take the test. But I don't want to rush it. I'm not going to rush it like that. I'm going to take my time, schedule my exam um, February 1st, because I think let me see, let's say November, December, January. I think I need 3 months to fully study. And I already have the resources to study. And I'm just going to study every day. But the program just ended with the boot camp Friday. So, but we're still working with trainers, and we're still working with um, development, career development. And Wednesday, I will meet my one-on-one person to help me with a career and plan and really focus on my career path and objective. Now, I have not given up doing taxes, so don't get me wrong. I have an idea of what I would like to do and how I'm going to incorporate my new skills as it relates to taxes and doing my business. Because even though I've learned technical sales, I've learned CRM systems, it's going to help me in so many ways in my own personal development. And that's the great thing about it. Because the more I keep, because we use Salesforce at TurboTax, but I'm a user. So I'm not the back end developer, but because the fact that I've learned Salesforce, I could probably explore opportunities within TurboTax and kind of get someone to see if they have positions available within TurboTax and probably be look for positions within. I could also do that with Amazon because I'm tired of doing physical labor work. I'm tired of picking up. I'm tired of opening boxes and putting them in bins and pushing and all that. That's physical work. It don't take a whole lot to do it. And like I keep telling people, I'll be straight up. I'm only working there because of the insurance and because of the career choice where you could go and take some classes, courses for free, and new careers. And then when I started telling people about it, I've told so many people about it at my job directly. I did get one person who managed to look into it, and she's doing the technical support with Merit USA, one of the partners that Amazon allowed to come. These companies had allowed to be chosen as a partner. So they're one of the programs where they're learning technical support. And I told her about it, and then so she should be almost finished. Now I don't say almost finished. I think she probably had my calls. I'm gonna call her, see how she's going with it. But I remembered, I said, "What did you taking the technical support program through?" And she was doing it through Coursera too, and it was the Google technical support. I've done Google technical support years ago, a few years ago, not years, but a few years ago. I completed that course. It was real basic, but it's a starting point for you to learn, for you to get into network engineering, cybersecurity, because they learn real basic things. But if you want to work like a help desk, technical support, or something of that nature, having that certification, learning that will help you get a job in an entry level technical support help desk position. Now, it's very entry level, but at the same time, it'll pay probably about a good 18, 19, 20 something dollars an hour. And it's a good starting point to enter the field because I think that allowed me to work at Apple about how long goes this? 3 years ago. Let me see. Prior, it was not during the pandemic. So 3 years ago. Wait. Yep, wait. 2, 3, something like that. 2 or 3 years ago, I worked at Apple, but I was working through Concentrix, which is a third party company, because I didn't work directly with Apple. I was working through a third party company doing the Apple technical support, which I was doing um, the App Store. People say I didn't buy no app, and I didn't pay this, and I didn't buy that. So I was doing that side of Apple, but um, so I do have some technical background doing some type of customer service, technical support. And not to say that Google certificate helped me, but if I did my resume and I included technical support positions that I've held, because I did some technical support, but I never really put that on my resume. But because these contracts will be like maybe 4 6 months. So I always said, what, do I really need to put that on there? I haven't done anything. Hey, 3 people. So it was kind of hard to, you know, what do you put up? What do I put on my resume? What do I not put on my resume? And I think trying to go with a career coach, they could really help me with my LinkedIn profile and my resume, because the only thing that's holding me back is that my resume is it's not formatted. I'm not saying it's not formatted correctly, but it's not really popping. And when I had someone, it was really a company with AARP, evaluated my resume, and it was done 3 times within the last few years. They said, you have a great, good resume, but it's not really showing your skills. It's like you have a lot of skills, but at the same time, it needed some changes, because a lot of times these resumes are not looked at by the human eye, it's looked at by computer. So when you have someone professionally review your resume, it's not that you don't have any skills. Well, let me say, at least it's not like I don't have any skills or experience. It's just that it's not really coming out in a way to show it. And so I think this time around with correlation and Salesforce, I really love it. And I'll be working with a coach on Wednesday, and it's going to be several months that we still be working along with the career choice and helping you with networking and everything. And then also studying for the administrative, the certification. So I'm looking forward to that. And to be honest, when I did that thing last year with Generation USA, that wasn't the only program I could have chose. They did have data analytics as a choice too. But the one I chose, I said, "Oh, let me do software engine, software development." I don't like doing websites. I mean, I don't think I would like that. I mean, I've done it, made my little cute little website page and, reels and landing page. It wasn't no, but I did learn one of the things that's needed, which is learning the code. But I said I had to be honest with myself. Would I have loved doing that? Because when you certain careers, you have to have experience, like 2, 3, 4 years experience just to get in entry level. And my resume and trying to be a software developer, it would have took a lot. And then coding, I said, I did try to learn the code, Python and stuff, but I'm just gonna, learn things. I love learning. That's why I've been taking so much, but it's time for me to like step it up. And one good thing about the program that I finished is that I have came in with a great mentor. Her name is Neela, and she's from Vancouver, Canada. And she's like, "You're one of my favorite students," because from day one, I was asking questions, I was participating. Everybody was sitting all quiet and stuff, ain't saying nothing. And I scheduled my appointment time with her every week, every week. So, and she helped me a lot, tremendously. I was doing the challenges, projects, and if I got stuck, I tried, and then I meet with her. But we also had offsite conversations too. She's older; she's like 60 something years old. She don't look 60 though. She says she remind me of her mother when her mother was younger, because she said I look, because she's from Portuguese. She's from Brazil. She speaks 3 languages. She lives in Canada, and she's my mentor and friend. I would like to say she's my friend. So she always invited me. So you know what? That prompted me to hurry up and get my passport. And I said, I would love to go to Canada. So she said, "Come on in. I would invite you over and cook you dinner." So she invited me to visit her in Canada, in Vancouver, her and her family. So I enjoyed it. I said, if she ever comes to the United States and comes to Atlanta, we can meet up. But she said she really is going to help me. She really going to help me. And as we were talking, she said, "You know what? You're very smart, intelligent." And then she said, she started to notice my fears of feeling stuck. And I think the only reason why I have not advanced in my career as I should be, not to say that, oh, I want to work for a company and be on salary, but I just want to be way off further in my career than I am. And I know for a fact I've been settling for years, you know, and feeling not able to move on. Not because I'm scared per se, but it's the self doubt, Oh, I'm so, I always felt like ageism, and but I say, you know what, they really didn't have to do with that. I was going back thinking when I graduated from University of South Carolina undergrad, and my very first job, it wasn't even a real job at that. It was working as a waitress at S&S cafeteria. One of the professors was there dining in, and she was like, "You graduated and you doing it." I'll never forget that conversation. Then my aunt, "Oh no, Teresa, when she graduated and the degree, had this bullshit international studies degree, even though I started out going to college in New York at Baruch College when the tuition was so affordable, and I could have got my degree in finance and investments, and I had worked at excellent jobs and companies when I was in New York, going to school in New York at the time, and went to South Carolina, transferred, and felt that, oh, I supposed to have graduated when I was 22 and I was 24. I was 20, I think I was like 24 or maybe 25 when I graduated, something like that. I'll think about it, but I always felt that, oh, I'm too old to be, I always had this thing, oh, I started late. I should, I always put my pressures of not achieving certain things at a certain time, that I felt that I wasn't accomplishing anything and never moved on. And oh, I let people, I want to go to the army. Yeah, you need to go to the army. You need to finish school. Yeah, 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 yeah. I want to go on Peace Corps. Yeah, I need to go on a Peace Corps. Even though my major was in international studies, I always let these people self doubt my mind. And now these same people, and I'll never forget, my aunt Jacqueline and my other uncle Alonzo, two of the most, I ain't gonna say they're the most negative ones. They're not negative, but they're the most critical. They real critical. Now they're not the only ones that's critical, but those two people allowed me to change my path and course in life because of what they said. And my mother was never one of those people to allow people to do that to her. And she told me not to allow it to be happening to me. And she keep noticing that other people negativity really influence my mood. We had a good discussion the other day, and that's one of my biggest things. I get across people that brings me so much, that keeps me in a stage of being stuck. And I say, you know what? Why should I let these people affect my mind, affect my abilities, and my whole mood for the whole day or whole night or whatever I'm doing, and get me so wrapped up because of something that happened? And I know I do that. And I think because of that, I feel in that stuck mood. So I need to speak to professional counselors, not a psychologist, but especially counselors, to how to get away from that. Because I know at one point when I had stopped really focusing on that, on certain things, and I stopped really focusing on it and focus on myself and focus on my own needs and my own happiness, regardless of what other people's expectations or standards are, or thinking I should be doing this certain thing, that's when I'm really good and successful. And it's not too late for me. So that's one thing I love about my mentor friend that I met through this program, was that she was very encouraging. And this conversation was a couple of days ago. So I said to myself, you know what, Teresa, sit down and get all the negative things and chatter in my mind, get that out of my mind. I know I'm smart. I know I'm intelligent. I know that I have things. I know I could go and do a whole lot more. And I know I'm blessed with many things that I may have, and don't feel I need to put my happiness in, oh, you need a man. Oh, because there's some thirsty women at work and guys. I've never met a bunch of people who be so thirsty in my damn life. They like, I need a man, I need a book. And one person, she told me this straight up. I'm like, girl, you met someone 2 weeks ago at a Toyota dealership and talking about I ain't no man. I said, Now people tell me I'm negative. You don't need, I said, girl, you need to stop being so thirsty for a man. And you be just, but you don't realize I ain't had none. I said, girl, these men in Atlanta on the deep, on gay, down low, be carrying all kind of stuff. Girl, you better, stop doing that. It ain't the end of the fucking world. Getting a piece of D is not that important. I was like, trust me, I don't understand it. I just don't get it. It's like, and it ain't just the women be thirsty. These guys be thirsty too. Ooh, they be like, ugh. Now I know you may be 20 something, whatever, but ain't nobody never been that hot so dying of desperate need ever. I'm like, nope. That's why there's so many damn people out there on the news about baby daddy mama something like killed somebody. I mean, in Atlanta, it's like so many people killing their ex-girlfriends and baby mamas and stuff like that all in Atlanta alone. Every time you turn around, and it's us as black folks doing crazy stuff like that. I'm not gonna say crazy, but mental health, ill mental health people have. You break off people. I said, girl, don't be rushing for no damn crazy ass man up in no head in Atlanta, because half the time they be trying to look for someone so they could sleep and put their head on a pillow. They ain't got nothing to offer, nothing. And some of these women, they be, and men too. Let me not leave them out because it goes both ways. I was looking at somebody's video yesterday, and I don't even subscribe to his channel. Let me tell you about this idiot. I know my I'm gonna get to the topic what I'm gonna talk about. So what I've been watching on YouTube lately was a lot of channels based on economic collapse, financial planning, not so much financial planning, like really financial planning, like working with a financial planner telling you, add up your expenses, cut down your debt, pay off your credit card, how to buy this on this and how to get credit. No, I've been watching videos you would think is about financial problems and issues, but it really is more deeper than that. Now, I was watching Death and Marriage, which is a show based in Canada about 10, 11 years ago. It's no longer on air. And it was this Canadian woman, white woman. She was a financial planner for like 20 something years. And she lived based in Canada. It's a TV show. I'll put the I'm gonna put that in the description box, so maybe y'all could look at it on YouTube. And I was binge watching. These were old shows from 10, 11 years ago. So basically, the first show, she had two different shows. The first show was about married couples and how to help them get out of financial debt. And she would go to their house and give them 3 challenges for a month. And it's not a new concept. She would say, okay, this is your budget. This is what you actually spending. Man, people had like in Canada, people had like $75,000 in debt, all kind of crazy debts and all this kind of, it was ridiculous. And she would tell them in 5 years, you will be owing $180,000 plus dollars. Now, I knew this was an older show because when she goes around the house, you see these big old blunt, clunky TVs. Now, that was back in the early 2000s, 1998. So it wasn't recently like 2020, 2021. So these people were like over budgeted by $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 a month. And when they were showing the people, husband, wife, whatever, a lot of them made good income, 6-figure income. Some people made, $50,000 range. Some people, but somehow or another, during her on the shows, I was binge watching. I mean, the whole couple of weeks I've been watching it, like, 3, 4, 5 episodes a day, watching Dave Ramsey and all the other different shows. and even some shows that were not financially astute, but they were still focusing on a channel about financial planning and stuff. So she would show people about they could get out of debt in 2, 3, 4 years following her debt reduction plan. So I did a Google search last night and I found some Pinterest and some other channels that had downloaded the resources that this person did on the show. And I'll talk about this on another video when I'm, so I could drop the channel links and stuff and also do a financial planning on my worksheet because I managed to download the resources. And I said, you know what? We're about 11 days into October. I'm going to complete the last quarter of this year and start 2023 on a strict financial plan for paying off my mortgage, student loans, and I don't have any credit card debt. That's thank God. Even though I did have to buy a brand. Look at this, y'all. I had to buy me a brand new. This is the old XR. I tried to charge it up last night. It can't even, if the screen is black. I can't even power it on. So my phone be ringing. I don't know who's calling me. I can't even answer the phone. I have to probably go in the car and let the Bluetooth pick up in the car on the Rogue and be able to listen and make phone calls. But I had to order a brand new iPhone. I think I ordered the 11. I can't remember. I know I didn't get no 14, but I got the 11 Amazon yesterday. So it's supposed to come tomorrow. So I finally had to settle and buy me a brand new phone because this is an XR. And I had this phone for about 5 years. Wait. Yeah, about 5 years. So it's time to, I get a phone. I have a phone. I'll work this phone till it can't do no more. And I could easily probably take it to the place and get this fixed again because technically Sam's Club owes me a phone because the lady dropped my dang phone, even though I did cause this break. But it, I said that you broke my phone and therefore now it don't even work. I can't even turn it on. I could turn it on, but it's not, I don't want to get it fixed again because it probably cost me $100 and something, and this was already fixed. It was like this before. I took it to the place in Walmart. The guy fixed it. It was able to work. He changed the motherboard inside. Now it doesn't work again unless this had a warranty that he put these parts in. It's a year, but I don't even think it's a year. I think it's only 30 days, and I know it's way beyond that. But I should take this tomorrow just to see what he says. And then if he replaces it with no cost, I'll probably trade this phone in back to Amazon and they give me $166 for Amazon gift card. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. So anywho, so I've been watching these different shows on YouTube, and that other show with the married couples, I was watching they were so selfish, it was ridiculous. About no, that wasn't a selfish one. If they complete the challenge, she'll give them $5,000 to help them pay off the debt. If they didn't follow the instructions or they had a bad attitude, they wouldn't get nothing. So I was like, dang, when did this show come on? I said, I've never seen this show. And I did Google search and I found that the show was at least 10, 11 years old. It was back in 2000. So when I try to see, then in the comment section, they said she made another show, but it was based on single people. It was called She's a Princess. So they were focusing on people who were princesses. They even had a guy that said he's a princess. So these people were princes. They let family members, boyfriend, girlfriends pay their bills, and they were basically spoiled, rotten, privileged, gold diggers. And I watched that show a few days ago. I said, oh, let me see this new show she had. It was the same concept, but it was based on single people. Man, they had this one girl. If he don't buy me this, I'm leaving him. They were using people to buy them things. They had no job. If they had a job, they quit. If they went to school, they quit. They had people paying for everything. These people were like in the 20s, 20-somethings, early, younger people. They weren't any older people. And if they did have these older people, I haven't seen them on the show. So they had these people on the show. Basically, they were princesses and think someone supposed to pay their bills and buy them this. And I don't take the bus. I have a car service. So, they ain't had no, I knew this was an older show too because they ain't had no Uber or nothing. This is in Canada. Oh, Lord. These people were ridiculous. One show I watched last night, the girl didn't learn her lesson at all. My boyfriend Brandon, I'm not walking through this. He had a construction business. He was in so much debt buying her stuff, letting her stay in the apartment. She had a comforter, and she would say, I keep a comforter for 2 weeks. Rather than washing a comforter, she'd throw the whole comforter out in the garbage. I was like, this bitch. How you just it was ridiculous. Y'all need to look at this. Um if you want to look, I wish I could put the title in the damn. Just Google it. It's like, let me see. What the damn? This is ridiculous. Let me go and see if they had this show. She's a princess. Yeah, just Google it. It says princess with dollar signs at the end. That's one of the shows. But there's another show that's by the same host did too, but it was married with debt or something. Ooh, that was so disgusting and despicable. So then there was another show I was watching on YouTube channel rather. His name is Caleb Hammer. Now, he's not as high production, but he's in Austin, Texas somewhere, and he would have people come and he would evaluate their bank statements and their debts. But he's not as harsh as he's kind of like, well, I understand. He's a little bit too soft on these people, but I would have been going hard on these people and call him an idiot, basically. And these people were idiots. They would come in there, and this is more recent. This ain't 10 years ago, 15 years ago. This is recent. They had people coming up in there talking about they would spend $8,000-9,000 Uber Eats and Grubhub and Uber. They was making 10, 12, $15 an hour, but they was spending like they was making six figures. When they did have someone who made pretty good money, they were spending money just so ridiculous and so frivolously. They weren't even spending I was like, how the hell are they able to live, pay their bills, do this and that, live? Where the hell are they living at? Austin is not cheap. Austin is very expensive to live. It's just like Atlanta. To find an apartment, you're gonna spend about 2,000 a month just for something. If you wanted something really decent, if you wanted something cheap, if you paying 1,000 or less in rent, and it's not sharing a house or an apartment with someone, you're living in the slums. If you could find an apartment in Atlanta for less than $1,000 a month, you ain't gonna find it. If you find it, trust me, you don't know. You don't want to know what it looks like. I've been to some apartments when I was doing pizza deliveries. I walk into a subdivision. I said, "What the hell is this?" I walk in there. The breezeway had no door. The handles were broken, and it was a hot mess. When you see an apartment that cheap, and even then, the city or the city would condemn them, and people would buy up that apartment complex and just tear it down, gutter it, build a brand new townhomes for 300,000 up, and then all those people had no place to live. It was ridiculous. One day I'm gonna do a ride along and show it. And maybe some of these places I'm gonna go to them because it's right there in Tucker. There's some places that look like I don't know. It's probably still around. If it's not, I won't be surprised. So I was watching all these different videos of people's financials and just how irresponsible people are. And I'm not talking about, fast food's gone up and people are struggling. There's a difference between if you're trying to live within your means, but things are so high and inflation so high that it's a struggle for everybody, to be honest. It could be a struggle for me. It could be a struggle for me. But the fact is that it's a struggle for me because I'm trying to pay off my HOA fees, and I wasn't able to make the required HOA fees in the last couple of months from the past due that I've owed. And the only good thing about that, there is no interest being charged to me, but they put a lien on my house. But they ain't try to do that. I'm just pay whatever I could pay my mortgage on time, and try to you know, pay that and get rid of that debt. So watching these YouTube videos with people with all these different people with the irresponsible with debt, people talk about I come from Africa. Man, shut the hell up. Being coming from Africa, they act like they came from the damn fucking jungle and act like they don't know how to spend money and bills. They got the same things in Africa they got in the United States and anywhere else in Europe and Asian countries. It's just a different country. People come here, I come to the United States to go to study, and then they come around and do the same bullshit that they do with these American guys, black American guys at that. Come up with a woman, get them pregnant, of the child, my baby mama. And I said, you ain't learned nothing. You came from your other country, and then you do something irresponsible. They had this one show with this African guy. He ended up spending what was it? Some ridiculous amount of money on bullshit, Uber Eats and Grubhub and eating food and junk, then talk about he sold the car. He had a car that ran, he sold the car. He ain't sold that car. Your car got repossessed. And then he talking about he moving to Nebraska with his girlfriend. I was like, who in the hell? And then, I was like, what's up with these deadbeat guys? They young. I'm gonna meet my girl and we gonna move to Nebraska, and I'm gonna get my MBA, and I'm gonna get it in finance. You can't even finance a nickel so much going to school for finance. I was looking at these shows or these YouTube channels and these people on there, and I was like, oh my God. And then they were like, well, my parents, they send me money, and they ain't not just, they're not talking about just African people. People got family, they grown ass people, 23, 24. My mama gave me 3,000 a month, and I ain't working, and that ain't enough money, and this and that. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Then just to top it off, I watched a recent video with 50 Cent's son. He's 25, talking about $3,800 a month in child support. Is not enough money. Nigga, what the fuck you getting child support for at 25 fucking years old from your daddy, 50 Cent? There ain't no money. I was like, you know what? You make you want to go across the picture, across this computer screen one day. And I was like, damn, I wish they had a thing on YouTube, on TV where you could reach the people and just choke the fuck out of them. Just reach across and just choke you. But I heard that bullshit 50 Cent son talking about $3,800 a month in child support. I was like, nigga, I was like, what the fuck is these damn celebrity kids? What's wrong with them? Just like the other two. Kirk Franklin, his raggedy ass son, got cut off. He 25, 30 years old. No, 30 years old. And then what's the other one? The other girl. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Dr. Dre daughter. She driving Uber in Vegas. She 35. Talk about her father. He ain't give her no support. He supported her for years. Childhood, teenage, 20s. And then when they decided to cut them off because they ain't doing nothing, she another one. And then it was it was a few celebrities too. Children, their fathers, their parents, movies, film, music, years supporting their family, supporting the kids. They ain't doing nothing. And then, they ain't had no talent like their parents, so they sitting around doing nothing, and they lived off the lavish lifestyle all these years, and then they get as a grown as adult. Then they come on YouTube and come on social media. My father's Dr. Dre. My parents is Kirk Franklin. Um, now 50 Cent, and then there was some other ones. I was like, what is wrong with these damn? I only get 10,000 a month, and they complaining. I was like, oh Jesus Christ! That living in New York, the 50 Cent song in New York, get 80, getting 87,000 a year, because that's how much he getting child support. And then there's one. I was like, you get on social media to complain about your parent, 50 Cent, this, that, or that, and they ain't doing nothing. You think you shaming them? They making yourself look like a damn fool. Look at he a grown ass man with a full beard and mustache, and you talking about your father 50 Cent. He only give you um he only giving you 3,800 a month. What was it? Basically $87, 87,000 a year. I said, nigga, if you don't shut the hell up and sit the hell down and have 10 seats, get yourself a job. Because obviously you can't rap like your father. You can't act. And you get on social media to talk about your parents saying they didn't give you, they only giving you. I was like, oh my goodness. I just think people, just major news outlets, major companies or whatever, or news outlets is just going to go, oh, let's interview so and so son and see what he didn't do, and then you supposed to expect them to pay. That's what they want. They want all that social media attention. Say something on social media and get all these millions of views, and people that, what? Ain't nobody studying about, nobody grown ass kids complaining about they not getting no money and they not getting no support, and they only getting $10,000 a month and this and that or whatever. And please don't speak about, well, the woman, she getting child support. No, she getting alimony, and they not even, no, no, no. First of all, if anybody gets alimony, I'm gonna give you a tax tip. If you get alimony, you have to report that as income on your tax return and pay taxes on it. So you're not getting free money. If you getting um let's give an example. If somebody's getting $500,000 a year in alimony, or you getting half of housing or property, trust me, you paying half the taxes too. You paying half the taxes, and ain't no 15-20% tax either. So don't always think that, oh, they getting alimony and they living free. No, you're not. Getting alimony, you responsible for paying the taxes. Whether you're a man or a woman, you get alimony. And that's why you see a lot of these people, they be in trouble. They be with the IRS issues and the debt, and they got their stuff taken away. Because they getting alimony from the spouse, that doesn't always mean it's always glory and always hand free and scot free. That could be a headache in itself. I'll tell you that. People don't realize this, because you got the big houses and the boats and all these big things, and you got all this whatever, you lose value of money too. It's just on a bigger scale. So when people don't be quick to be rushing in the back, ain't no rich people ain't paying no taxes. Ain't big companies ain't paying no taxes. You don't understand how the tax system goes. And please don't listen to no dumbass people on YouTube talking about, you can run a business and you can have a lot of tax write-off, and let me show you how to run a business, and you don't have to pay the IRS nothing, and you can just pay nothing in taxes. Just open up your own business. people, boy, don't listen to that bull crap. Or you could do it to an LLC. And if you do an LLC, your personal property is not going to be affected. That's not what that means. It is more to that. And I'm so tired of talking about it. And I'm so tired of trying to explain to people And better yet, I just look at the video and I say, you know what, y'all just y'all setting people up. And then when you do turbo, then when you go to the tax accountant or someone or tax consultant to do your taxes, and then they say, oh, and they gotta figure out your mess. They gotta figure out your issues when you get the letters from the IRS, and they tell you, oh, that's $1,200, $1,400 just for that little bit of work. They gotta try to reverse things that you heard people tell you. Oh, let's start a business and you could do your LLC and you ain't got to pay no taxes and all you got to do is write this off and you ain't paid out one nickel through the whole year. Come on, people. Then you want to talk and compare about businesses. Businesses ain't pay no taxes. They don't pay no. First of all, a business or corporation, when they file taxes, it is not the same way that individual tax returns are filed. It is different. There's a whole big difference. See, but people don't look at that. People don't look at that. You have a business, big companies, big corporations, they have to pay 10,000 people, employees, payroll tax. You gotta pay into this tax, you gotta pay into that, you gotta pay into this. And they talk about they ain't pay no. Let me show them how they pay zero taxes. But you hear these narrative of these dumbass people. It's one commercial I hate. One day I'm gonna go live stream. I'm gonna share the video and I'm gonna say, "Don't listen to this dumb bitch." This black woman on there. I got shot. I mean, she be whispering. I hate it. I hate the commercial. She be on YouTube. Yo, psst, look. Let me show you how to pay no taxes, and let me show you how to do this. I said, bitch, what the fuck you whispering about? I was trying to click off that ad so quick. And she get on there. I was like, why is this bullshit ad show up on TV on this YouTube? This I don't know. I'm just so damn sick tired to the point where I'm not saying people say, well, how you know you may not be doing nothing right either. I'm not monetized yet. But I'm not going to sit there and give this pie in the sky things and promise anybody anything. I tell people the facts. I said, it ain't no guarantee. If I do your taxes, you're going to get some big refund. I've been telling y'all this for years. I've been telling people, even when you do the gig economy, I tell people all the time, just because you ain't paying no estimate taxes for all these time and you get a penalty at the end, you may not notice it. But that doesn't mean that the IRS is not going to audit your return. You file a return 6-7 years. What the hell is this? You file a tax return from 4 or 5 years ago. When you do this gig work, especially those who love to show up their money on YouTube. Look, man, I made $1,500. Look what I made. I made $2,000 this week. It was good 5-6 years ago when you were doing those hustles. But now one time, people say, well, I set the money aside and I set 10-15% aside and I paid. Like, ain't nobody paid shit. Ain't nobody did nothing. I paid to put it on the side and they put, the only reason why a lot of people, it doesn't really, the only reason why is a lot of people haven't fallen into that issue of being audited for those Schedule C's and everything else is because truly a lot of people are not doing it as a full-time thing. A lot of people who are doing it on the side, they may be, married and their spouse may have a regular W-2 job because there ain't no way I could pay all my bills, even when it was good, when I was doing it a few years ago and I didn't really have a good paying job at that. The only reason why I was able to pay my bills, mortgage, and everything else was because I saved I had $30,000 worth of savings in my in my savings account or emergency fund prior to that. And it took me those 3 years to finally utilize my emergency fund to pay my bills in that about 3-4 years. before it started to really took a crumble. But I was still making money through those gigs. But let's say that doing the gig work, if I was doing the gig work 20, and if I was doing gig work the way it is now, say 6 years ago, I wouldn't have made the money I would have made back then. And it has nothing to do with the market either. Don't give me that fucking excuse about it depends on the market. It depends on the market. No, it's not depending on the market. Because whether you live in Atlanta, New York, San Francisco, small town USA, or whatever the case may be, it wasn't because it was saturated to the point everybody was doing it. The reason why it went, the reason why the pay wasn't as great was because they weren't paying the same way say 6 years ago. Number two, it expanded to areas and the people in suburbs, low income areas, fast food, that it was not lucrative either. When it was, because think about it, if it was the market, why is it that when they first started out, and I'm taking Atlanta as an example, why was it in Buckhead, Midtown, higher end places in Decatur, at fancy looking pizza places, noodle houses, fast food, Chinese, not Chinese food, Thai places, restaurants, and they were only taking 15%, because it was at 15% at one time. Then it went up to 20%. And then when people started, I told people, I'm not driving no people around. Then they took 30%. That's what's when it started getting bad. They took more money in the fees. That was 30%. Now I know it's not no 30% now. I know for a fact it's not 30%. It's way this, and they were paying over $1 per mile. And if you did DoorDash, and give DoorDash an example, DoorDash was paying $5 per delivery. You didn't have to travel all over the place. And I looked at a lot of different cities and a lot of different maps at the time. You didn't have to travel all over the place. If you lived in Stockbridge, if you lived on the west side, if you lived on the north side, everybody had to come to the main area of Atlanta, like downtown, Buckhead. They had to go to that small, exclusive areas that people had disposable income to afford to do that. And a lot of these restaurants didn't have delivery service. A lot of people didn't have delivery service. So it was cheaper for them to do it like that. Let people come in, order the food, have it delivered, and they pay the commission to these different companies. So some companies used to have 3-4 different apps on the table, and it was all ringing at the same time. Bloop, 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 bloop. And it was like at least 20 something people picking up food, and it was way enough people at the time. That's how I came across, oh, Postmates, what's that? Oh, DoorDash, what's this? Grubhub. I was doing Uber Eats. That's how I found out about the other ones, was going into the restaurants and seeing all these different color bags and people doing different deliveries for, and I signed up for each one of them. Even Amazon had food delivery at one time, and they were paying pretty good for one restaurant, 20 something dollars just to pick up food. But Amazon discontinued it because it wasn't as marketable and it was too crowded at the point. And this was not anywhere during no pandemic either. Amazon pulled out the game because they had some restaurants. They didn't have a lot, but they had the restaurants too. But it wasn't as big then. But see, Amazon had other things going on before they got into the delivery for groceries, and they bought Whole Food. And I said, oh Lord, when they bought Whole Food, I told people then, a few years ago, I said, okay. And that's when I did Instacart and the other one, Ship. The only thing I have never done was Lyft. I've never done Lyft. I signed up for Lyft, but the person supposed to inspect my car never came and activated my account, so I never did Lyft. So I've done a lot of companies. The Live, that was the best thing. I don't think that many people did the Live in Atlanta, but I made a killing. I did the Live because I was on my lazy day when I used to be like real lazy. When I mean lazy, I wasn't talking about hustling like 10, 12, 13 hours, 10, 12 hours a day either. I would be like, 8 o'clock, I was home. I didn't do 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't do none of that. If I did do it, I might have been finished and on my way back home. But it was very rare that I did anything middle of the night. It was very rare that I woke up early in the morning. I may have done it a few times, but I was like, I may have done it a few times because sometimes they would be red map, the map be red. And I said, oops, let me get up and do it. And I'll get up, do it until 8 o'clock that morning, go to the gym, then pick up again and do lunch, take a break. If I went to the gym in the afternoon, I would go to the Y in Buckhead, go to, swimming, do my lesson, my fitness classes or whatever, and then do the lunch crowd thing from 6 o'clock because it was downtown Buckhead and all those places. I said, oh, let me take my break because it'll be rush hour and I didn't feel like sitting in no traffic. And then 9, 10 o'clock, I'll be going home. Boom, finish. I made it, it was good back then. It was good. Let me see, 16, 2016, the summer, 2017, 18, 19. Yep. Up until about 2019, I said that that's when I kind of slowed down from doing those gigs. And then I started doing other new gigs that I'll be always talking about now, which is survey.com, merchandise. So, um, so when I look on YouTube and a lot of people I managed to meet a lot of people throughout the years because of these gig work, Uber Eats and Grubhub. I was watching a lot of people, and these people were regular people all across, Florida, New York, all over the place. And now I wonder what happened to these people. I know if I put Pete pay to drive, he probably still doing his channel because the bulk of his money is probably doing YouTube. I don't know how many subscribers he got. I don't know, if did his channel grow, but how many people are really doing these gigs? If your channel was so based on these gig work, people could do the news. There's a lot of copycatters. They follow one another like a damn roach. One person talk about something, another person doing the same thing. I'm just like, it ain't no difference, different face, but it's different, same old thing. People like they want to do the grow up, they want to do the DoorDash news. But see, at one point people talk about Uber Eats. Uber Eats was the news, and then now you don't even hear nobody talk about Uber Eats and hardly no more. You don't hear them talk about Uber driving. You don't hear them talk about Lyft driving. There might be one person maybe talking about people acting up like a fool in their person's car, want to act crazy, and they may do some clips and stuff. But people ain't really doing all that. And then, if you do hear people, some people may still be doing Lyft, but it's really hard to come by. Making money with Lyft, people say, I'm going to do Lyft. Because some people doing Lyft because either one, they're doing the most dumbest thing ever. Lyft, buying a lease car from Lyft. They can't get a car, so they say, do Lyft, I'm going to lease it. And the only reason why they driving is because they really using the car for their own personal use. And then they do Lyft and try to do some fares to pay for the car. Basically, that's what they're doing. I'm going to do Lyft, but I know I'm going to do Lyft so I can make money to pay for the leasing of the car, which is stupid to me. Is that you get a car because you need a car and you're doing Lyft, and you're not making any money, but you paying Lyft to pay for the car. That's dumb as hell. You better off saving your money and buying an electric scooter or electric bike and get around that way. You know, but who am I? You know, some people they doing Lyft, and then you ask them, "What you been doing all day?" And you make $100 or a little bit over $100, but you're doing it for 12 hours. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. I never done that. I never worked. Let me tell you, I still got my statements and stuff. If I worked 8 hours doing Grubhub on a Sunday in late afternoon to evening up until about 8, 9 o'clock, I know at the end of that day, whether I was doing Instacart, Uber Eats, Grubhub, I made over $100 in 8 hours. I would make almost close to $200 on a Sunday and still be home at a good reasonable time. I know I said, ooh, Saturday, Sunday. I know Saturday, Sunday, busiest time when people want grocery shopping or food delivery, whatever. 2 days, $400. During the week, Monday tend to be slow. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then it picks up like on Thursday, Friday. 4 days with a 6, 7 hours, not even a whole lot, not even I know I was making $800, $900 at least. At least, and that's the minimum amount of work. And then when I really, and that's if I had another job. If I had a regular W-2 job and I did it on the other days, I made that. That's how, I did that. The only reason what made me so frustrated about, is that you get burnt out. Like after a while, I started to notice the change, as the years went by, I managed to save money, knew how to balance myself because I always had a W-2 job. Even when I did the gig work, I always had a W-2. And I knew, I worked in taxes. I worked at the IRS. So I knew if I did these gig work exclusively and I had no W-2 job, common sense would have told me, Teresa, make sure you pay the taxes and pay it in quarterly. That's why I spoke about it for so long. For so long, that was my main thing that I always tried to address to people, and how to keep track of your miles and record keeping. I do that now at work. Tax season comes during January, picks up again when we gotta go, because this week is the last week. You have until October 15th to file your extension tax return, and it's getting slow now. So I'll be on hiatus for a couple months, and then we go right on back to work again for TurboTax. But I will be studying for my certification for Salesforce. I need to pick up my book again and study for the EA exam too while I'm at it. And plan my business officially. I'm not doing free taxes for nobody no more. So don't come to me. Did my tax? Nope. Nope. $150. Boom. And depending on who it is, I'll give them a little discount, maybe 100 or whatever. But it has, but other than that, there's gonna be a whole lot of people that's gonna get a whole lot of trouble. They're gonna come up with a whole lot of issues once they resume these agents with all these delinquent tax returns that people have not done, and also the auditing of previous years. Let me tell you, the IRS and the Treasury Department, all these people, 1099, self-employed, they gonna need the revenue. They gonna need that money, y'all. And they ain't playing. They're not gonna play. And I know they're not gonna play. Because the only reason why they haven't done nothing, the reason why that Biden, that last act that he passed, that inflation recovery or whatever, inflation, whatever the hell the name was, part of that, most of that bill was given to the Internal Revenue Service of billions of dollars to update their systems, but it was also to hire tax enforcement or agents to go after these taxes that people haven't been paying for years. And they know that the statute of limitations, which is the CSED, is about to expire. So they know that they have data. Trust me, they have records and data, and they know how much they have not been collecting, because not because they overlooked it either. It's because because so many people is due to retire, especially now that December come around. A lot of people are due to retire so they could get that pension and maintain their thrift savings plan, which is like a 401k for the government, and they're getting burnt out. They're getting tired. They're getting burnt out. You know, people's like 25 years, 30 years of working. They said, I can't do this. They can't do that no more. They said, let me go. Let me go. Let me move on. I even told some of my former coworkers, I said, y'all want to work at TurboTax? So he was like, no, they didn't even want to do taxes no more. They don't want to work at TurboTax. They so sick and tired of taxes and doing taxes and answering questions of taxes. They not doing it. They were like, nope. And I don't blame them, because I'm starting to feel I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore myself. I mean, I'll start my own tax business and bookkeeping service. But even my desires of doing it, I've done it for over 20 years, I've done it since 1996 when I moved to Atlanta. When I was working at the IRS back in 1996. But before I moved to Atlanta, I was working on a little part-time job doing taxes on the side when I was in South Carolina. It wasn't a lot, but that's when I really, I've been doing it for a long time, y'all. And regardless, it's still customer service. I was still on the phone. And after a while, you get tired of hearing that bullshit, especially from us is, when I get my income, I take my earned income credit, I'm gonna file my tax return in December so I get my earned income credit. Man, nigga buys. People passing along, people having children just to use as a money bag. People want to fight over kids. I didn't give him permission to claim my child. I named them my child last year so they could claim their tax return because I wasn't working, and I'm gonna use, and they're gonna give me part of the money. Bitch, that's illegal. What the hell are you doing? That's what you want to say. That's what I want to say to people when I be hearing that mess. But I don't even say it. I be like, oh my God. I be sitting up there like, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, whoever, the IRS is going to ask you to show proof. And they're going to ask you for this information, blah, blah, blah. School records, this, that, or whatever. And whoever's supposed to claim the child, the other person will get the money, the return will be adjusted, and they will determine who's supposed to legally adjust it. But you're not supposed to sell your tax information and your child information for somebody else to file. See, people be doing some slick stuff. Now, I ain't trying to say that I never came across something like that personally, but I have. But I don't have any kids. But, let me tell you, the things that people do, especially us. I know people say white people do it too. No. Not as much as I've seen black folks do it. And I keep, and they be thinking they supposed to get all these child tax credits and everything else, refundable credits. How you gonna get more money of a person who makes six figures? They need to eliminate a lot of those programs anyway. They don't need to be doing that. And then this year, when people last year people got that advanced child tax credit, they didn't extend that. They did not extend it. They were like, nope. Mm-mm. People be doing it for the kids. Need the money for the kids. People, it's just like people paying child support. People get child support. All that money ain't going to pay for no kids. Even though it's supposed to help, even though the child support, the parent may pay money for the bills, food and housing and stuff like that. But people act like you get child support, you're supposed to spend all that money for the kids. Housing is for the kids. Buying food is for the kids. You know, household expenses, that is for the kids. What do you think? A kid has their own house and you supposed, they live by themselves and you pay the bill for the kids? If the kids live in the house with the parent, whether it be the mother or father, and they get child support and it's supposed to pay the bills, that's still paying for the child because they live with the person, they live with that parent, and they have to pay for those things. I hate when people be thinking that they be spending the money, get their nails done and their hair done. You don't know that. Ain't nobody spending, and some of these dumb niggas, and when I say niggas, I'm talking about men and women who pay child support to the other parent. But most men pay child support, because the man's supposed to be the head of the household, or they supposed to be the lead. But if you so happen to break up with the woman, your responsibility as a man is to take care of your family. Whether you with that woman or not, you're supposed to take care of your child. And some people pay, that little measly $300. I'm like, how much people be acting? They be like, can I write child support on my taxes? No, sir. That is your social responsibility as a parent who brought a child into the world. So no, that's not a tax write-off if you pay child support. Now, if you pay someone's alimony, they supposed to report alimony you paid to the person or their taxes. But child support is not one of those. You'd be surprised, bitch. You write off child support. Nigga, if you don't get the hell off my phone talking that crazy best. And they acting like they spend a lot of money in child support. I'm like, how much you spend in child support? I get $300. Nigga, apply. $300. They act like, you'd be surprised. People come up with $500. How much you pay? I'm not talking about the rich and famous or people who are movie stars and who've got millions and millions of dollars, but that's relative. People act like if you paying somebody $500 a month in child support, they acting like they doing so much. $500? That is not nothing. They act like they act like, I'm not talking about the rich. These typical people, ordinary folks, whatever, $300, $400, $500 a month of child support. They acting like that's a whole lot of money. Man. Oh, Jesus. I'm so glad I don't have any kids, even though sometimes I wish I was a parent, but I'm so glad I don't be going through that stages of dealing with somebody or dealing with some trifling ass man about some child support. Even if I did manage to have a child, I always said I would never put myself in that position, and I would not deny anybody to see their child. Now, if they don't want to see their child or they choose to not be in their life, people need to address that. But that's a whole nother video. A lot of women, I know for a fact, because I hear the conversations, I hear the story. A lot of times they have these baby daddies and all this stuff. It's not because they preventing them from coming around to see their child. A lot of times these men don't want to see the child or support the child. It's because they don't want to get involved with the woman. That's what it is. A lot of times, and if the way you do hear because oh my baby, they only love that child when they're cute, little baby toddler. But when that child gets older, you start to see that they start to push away. That child gets about teenage time, you know, especially if you're a boy. After a while, they split. They be in the child's life when they're young, toddler. No, they cute. No. But when they get to a teenage, all of a sudden they start drifting away. They start meeting another woman. They want another baby. They want to start all over. They have a child just to start all over because they trying to get a redemption and having another child, another baby. That's all that is. That is all that is. You know, it's just disgusting that what people do. It's just disgusting because part of it is when children get to a teenage and they start being mouthy and smart talking. Sometimes after that, it gets on people's nerves. Even if it is the father or the mother, it gets on people's nerves after a while. The kids don't want to be, the kids want to hang out with their friends and they want to be entitled. After a while, people be like, mm-mm. That little cute baby that people be like, oh, he's so cute. Be all on Instagram and stuff showing the baby cute. See, that's cute for a while. They be like, they want to dress them up like them, be mini me and all that stuff. But then when that child gets to a certain age and they start getting all mouthy and or whatever, the parents they wanna life themselves. They need a break. They don't be like, oh, they grown, they teenager. You know. The only reason why some parents be all act a certain way with a child, say of a woman, they have boys and they don't have a man and they're not involved with a man, they tend to treat those boys like their husbands. They tend to some tend to not spoil in the sense of giving them everything they want, but they be treating those boys like they're their own man, like they're their man. And then um the boys either be a bait um uh, mama's boys and thinking the mama's going to support them in every way possible because they don't give them no responsibilities. They don't work, they don't clean, they don't do the yard, they don't do nothing. And then the mom would be giving them everything. And then that's why some of these women now, or girls rather, now meeting these trifling ass boys, supposed to be men, taking care of them because their mama did the same thing. They didn't give them no responsibilities, didn't allow them to grow up, but they didn't have a man in the house. Now, I do agree with some people saying the absence of a man does have has some influence. An absence of a man does have some impact on a boy. Girls too, but particularly boys. A man that grew up in a household with women or with a mama, where they don't have no father in the household, they grow up to be bad ass, trifling ass men. They'll have no responsibilities, don't have no sense of self, no sense of what it is to be a man. A woman can't teach a boy to be a man. Women are natural nurturers. So if you have boys and you have no man and you have a boy, it's gonna be some trouble. And it's gonna be some trouble for any woman who's going to baby a man. That's why I be laying around, can't do shit, can't do nothing. You know? And girls, that's why there's so many single mamas, single women with kids, because they didn't grow up with a father. They have a bunch of kids, 2, 3 kids can't even support, and they don't have a man, or they figured, oh, they thirsty for a man. I need some D. I can't get no man. They'll give themselves up. Be walking around looking like a damn fool, desperate for a man. And then they don't even choose a man of value or a responsible man because they didn't know what a one was. They didn't know what one was. That's why so many women choose the wrong man. They didn't grow up with a man. They didn't grow up with a father in the house. So therefore, that's how this cycle begins. I don't know when this started, when this whole cycle of baby mama drama does it. When did they lose the responsibilities of wanting to be a wife? I always said to myself that I never want to put myself in that position. I grew up with both my parents, my father and my mother. Now, why did I not get married? I probably would have got married to the person who I wanted to get married to, but we lost our way. I looked for him for years, and then when I found him on Facebook, I want to say a year ago, I found out he got married. I messaged him. He asked me, "Did I have any kids?" I said no, and it broke my heart because I truly was looking for him for years because that was supposed to be my husband. But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But it wasn't as if I never wanted to get married. I just didn't want to be married just to be married. Because since living here in Atlanta, I have not yet met a eligible man that's even worth my time, to be honest. They either was, I don't know. Maybe I could do a video about that one day as to why you ain't got no man. It's not because I'm ugly. I don't go out as much. I don't go out, you know. I don't want to. I'm quite sure if I fix my hair, do my makeup. I don't even wear makeup. Fix my hair, look real nice. Maybe go somewhere, but I don't want to go to no club. Mm-mm. There ain't no good clubs anymore in Atlanta. You can't say go to church because But I don't look for a man. I don't go out there looking and stuff. Even when I did the Facebook dating thing, you talk to people, they don't have no sense of how to communicate. You know, maybe Atlanta's not really a good place of dating, in my opinion. And I didn't, it's just like you come across, you meet a man, you ain't got no kids. What? You ain't got no kids? They act like, you want me to have like what, 3, 4, 5 kids or what? What is that? What is that supposed? If I had kids, trust me, I would have been married. Trust and believe. But the reason why I'm probably single is because I'm always working. I'm always in the house. I don't go out like that. I don't go out like that, to meet anyone. That's probably the reason why. I know it know. People say, you can't meet nobody, you keep staying in the house and you always working. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know? So at this point, I'm not gonna be some thirsty. I need I need a man, I need a man. No. Only thing I need is a drink of water. I may need a vacation, but I don't need a man. There's a difference between want and needs. People don't always need someone. Just like I was following this one person's channel. I don't subscribe to this channel, but I think this guy's an idiot. I had to talk about him in a video one day. But in a nutshell, he does these ride sharing. He lives in North Carolina. And I was looking at his video. I said, what the hell is this fool talking about? He said he gonna work a whole 12 hours all around the clock and do DoorDash and Walmart grocery deliveries and something else, some other things I don't know. His video, he talking crazy as hell. I had to talk about him. He talking about yesterday, last night. What this fool talking about now? He talking about he met some woman. He's so thirsty for a woman. He has a son. He's about, I gotta take care of my son. You nothing wrong taking care of your son. I gotta go and pick my son. We gotta do with the Y and we do sports. I said, you go to you always talk about you broke. He ain't got no money. He living, he the car he got is really his grandmother's car, borrowing the car from the grandmother. He lost $1 million of inheritance money, went to Vegas. This is a few years ago. He was telling that story. Then he said he wanted to do this. He had a bar. He lost a bar. He lost a house. He lost the house of some African people in a scam. I was like, oh my God. Then last night, I was watching this video. He talking about he met some girl. He didn't say he met them on YouTube, but I don't know how he met. But he was talking for 6 hours on the phone, and then he gonna say he going out there to visit her in California. She paid for him a plane ticket for him to go to California to visit. He going to California to visit her. But the only thing they did was talk on the phone. I was like, you ain't talking about, oh, we clicked. Oh, we've been talking for 2 weeks and we clicked. I said, you can't click with nobody for 2 weeks. And you going all the way to California? She bought you a ticket to go to California. I said, mm-mm. I said, nope, that don't sound right to me. You gonna be catfished. Trust me, I've done some dumb stuff in my lifetime in the past, but I ain't never talk about, oh, let me come and visit you. If I go to visit somebody, I'm going to visit someone. We're going to talk on the phone for months. We're going to exchange pictures. I'm going to visit, but I'm going to stay in a hotel. I ain't going to nobody's house. And if I did go to someone's house to visit, trust me, I had a ticket to go and ticket to come back home. But I had to talk to people for months before I'd ever do that. I done some dumb stuff. Trust me, trust and believe. I fell into that. But I said, he been thirsty. I was like, I need a girl. I'm like, boy, you grown ass to be thirsty like that. You need to concentrate and take care of your son and take care of your bills. And he just, if I could tell you who the person's channel name is and watch him, I ain't even giving that thought of, referring people to go to that channel. But I watched this, but I had unsubscribed because as many times people try to give advice to him about certain things, he don't follow it. He said that he had an opportunity to learn data science, and they say all he had to do is take some classes online and he'll get paid, a little stipend or something. He said he didn't want to do that. I said, what? I said, you better take advantage of opportunities to learn some new skills or something. I said, dog. I said, you can go on court, but I don't know. I've been learning a lot of things about YouTube lately. A lot of people's issues and stuff watching the YouTube channel, especially when it comes to money and debts. And this time, and we entering now, this economy is affecting everybody. And it ain't just the stock market. I mean, yeah, the stock market's been kind of downfall lately, but you have to be patient, just hang in there for about at least 2-3 years. It'll pick back up again, but this recession can't last forever. And I said that 5 years ago we're going to be in a recession, but I'm not saying COVID made a big thing, but it exposed a lot of issues. But this happening worldwide, not just United States. So anyway, I've been on here long enough. It's 1:16. I've been studying all day. I only So I got to get up in the morning, work a couple of hours at TurboTax, and submit my receipts for my internet bill to get reimbursed back for these couple months, and then let me see. Yep. Anywho, thank you for 2 people watching that not saying nothing, but I appreciate it. You could at least said hello. Comment, like, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.